everyone, and welcome to Newscene's final show of the semester. I'm Jillian Fortner, and in this week's show, you are about to see the spring semester's best student news packages. A news package is a standalone, long-form news story that contains everything the viewer needs to understand the issue that's from that single report. Let's take a look at some of the stories students have reported on. So for our first story, the San Diego Community College District announced that they will be requiring students, faculty, and staff to be vaccinated against COVID-19 for in-person learning in the fall. This comes after the decision from UCs and CSUs that they will also require vaccinations for the new school year. Katya Pachenkina has the story.
Plenty of college students across the country are eager to trade in learning on Zoom for an actual classroom next fall. But along with a backpack and books, more and more universities are requiring a COVID-19 vaccine. The University of California and California State University systems have announced they both will require students, faculty, and staff to get vaccinated. That's assuming the vaccine is fully approved by the FDA by the start of fall classes. This is a major decision. The CSU is the biggest system in the nation. The UCs serve more than 280,000 students, about the same number as people in cities like Chula Vista or Orlando. So what about San Diego City College? College officials say, historically, the rules have been different.
California community colleges do not really mandate any vaccinations for students.
In a statement, the state chancellor's office says the decision must come from each individual district. The San Diego Community College District has not yet made an official decision. But officials are encouraging those who are eligible to get vaccinated.
I just know that it would be a studied decision and not one they took lightly. And I'm sure they're weighing the pros and cons. But in the end, probably trying to evaluate, is this in our students' best interest and in the community's best interest?
Reporting for CTTV, I'm Katya Pachenkina.
According to the district, the vaccination requirement will be limited by medical or religious exemptions. The requirement is also contingent on the FDA giving full approval to the COVID-19 vaccines before fall. And earlier this year, we saw a new president inaugurated into office. President Biden immediately went to work on moving his plans forward. This included doubling down on mask wearing on federal property, rejoining the WHO, and lifting the Muslim ban. Noelle Mortensen covers Joe Biden's first hours in the White House.
Joe Biden has been in office 24 hours, and he is wasting no time starting his agenda. Ahead of the inauguration, the president released his plans for his first 100 days in office. The president's mission has been deemed ambitious and out of reach by many of his opposing colleagues, but it seems that Biden is not letting doubt get in his way. In the hours after his inauguration, the president was already behind his desk signing over a dozen executive orders and actions. With the U.S. passing over 400,000 COVID-19 related deaths, President Biden's top priority is COVID safety and relief for Americans.
Today, I am unveiling a national strategy on COVID-19 and executive actions to beat this pandemic. This plan reflects the ideas I set forward during the campaign and further refined over the past 3 months.
His first executive order was a 100-day mask mandate, where the president is ordering that masks and social distancing be required on all federal properties. Other actions include freezing student loans, extend foreclosure and eviction moratorium, and implement an ethics pledge for all executive branches. Out of the 17 orders, 12 are from Trump's previous mandates. Since the start of his campaign, the president has spoken openly about how rejoining the Paris Climate Accords and World Health Organization were very important to his administration. Biden also declared an immediate termination of the Muslim ban, stop of the build of the U.S.-Mexican border wall, and revoke the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline. Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy was not pleased by what the new president chose to prioritize in his first 24 hours.
I was disappointed to see within hours of assuming office, the new administration was more interested in helping illegal immigrants than helping our own citizens. more interested in virtue signals to the climate activists than supporting the union workers who were building the Keystone Pipeline, and more interested in appeasing the WHO than getting to the bottom of how China released this virus to the world in the first place.
Joe Biden and his administration face a tough uphill battle. We'll follow along as Joe Biden continues his first 100 days in office. From Newscene, I'm Noelle Mortensen.
Thank you, Noelle. President Biden has done a lot more since then, and we'll be sure to keep tabs on the direction his presidency takes. And City College's graphic design program is rising through the ranks. The program is now being recognized on an international scale, all thanks to a private student submission. Find out which student submitted the featured design.
In our digital world, it's easy to find ourselves overwhelmed with information, but a well-designed magazine by a San Diego City College student has earned the school international acclaim. The World Brand Design Society has ranked City College the 10th best design education institution this year. The organization recognizes work from young designers all around the world. The rankings are based on private submissions from students. In an interview by City Times, graphic design professor Sean Bacon said he was completely surprised by the award.
I wasn't even aware that the student had submitted that project. So I kind of just opened my email up one day and saw that. So it was really incredible, incredibly shocking, huge surprise. But again, something we're very proud of, very excited about.
The submission was by former City College student Arjuna Verma. Professor Bacon hopes this win will inspire design students to work harder and expand their creativity.
Our program is a team sport. We all work together, and it's not just the faculty and our support staff, but it's also our students who work really, really hard on their projects and that allow us to be, recognized in that kind of an arena.
Visit SD City Times for the full story by Rachel De La Torre. For CCTV, I'm Jillian Fortner.
And congrats again to Arjuna and City College's graphic design. We look forward to seeing what you all will accomplish in the future. And many of us went into survivor mode when the COVID-19 pandemic first began. We were so worried about what was going on around us or worrying about semester finals that we often forget to take care of ourselves. City College officials give tips on how to take care of your mental health. Vicki Panetta will tell us more.
San Diego is slowly transitioning back to purple tier, and all of us are getting back to work or adapting to ease restrictions. But don't just forget about your physical health. You need to take care of your mental health too. San Diego City College administrators have shared some tips on what they do for self-care, and maybe they can help you. For some, all it takes is simply getting outside.
I've been doing some bird watching. In my backyard. Watching them just bathe in the little bird bath has been amazing for me. It just takes me to a different space, and I really need that off and on.
And going outside isn't your only option. Denise Wisenhunt, City's Vice President of Student Affairs, uses apps like Headspace to guide her in meditation. And a backyard garden has become a healthy way for her to connect with her culture.
I've created a soul food garden. I have mustard greens, collard greens, okra. And so in the morning, I snip it and throw it in the blender. And so that's my way to kind of connect to my cultural self, which is very important to me.
No matter what you do, even something small can have a big impact on how you feel. Reporting for CTTV Newscene, I'm Vicki Pineda.
Thank you, Vicki. Those are some good tips. Maybe I'll give birdwatching a try. And throughout the semester, we have seen a lot of changes due to social justice. Not only have we seen the changes all over the country, but also in our own community. Here's a story of how looking back into history helped a local high school decide to change its name. Noelle Mortensen has the story.
We're here at Sarah High School in the Tierra Santa neighborhood of San Diego County. After a long board meeting on Tuesday night, this school will have a new name.
After a successful student petition, Sarah High School will now be renamed.
On Tuesday night, the San Diego Unified School Board voted unanimously to change the school's name, mascot, and colors.
Kanap Kwahan means to tell the truth. This very important name change starts the process of telling the truth. We strongly support the name changes proposed and their translation into the Kumeyaay language. The change will provide for a more accurate and ethical view of history.
Gone are Sarah's name and mascot, part of the school's 45-year tradition. Going forward, the school will be called Canyon Hills High School, and the mascot? The Rattlers. Over the summer, 2 students looked into the background of the name and mascot. They discovered racist and offensive ties. School namesake Junipero Serra was the founder of the California mission system. Research has shown that the priest was responsible for assimilating indigenous people to Catholic and Spanish culture. As far as the conquistador mascot, the conquistador culture ties back to the Spanish conquerors who killed millions of native people in the area when arriving in San Diego with Serra in 1769. Indigenous leaders are praising the name change. They point out that long before a mission stood on this land, it belonged to the Kumeyaay Nation, and that history is now part of the future of Canyon Hills High School.
From Tierra Santa, reporting for Newscene, I'm Noelle Mortensen.
Thank you, Noelle. It's nice to see the Native American community being well represented on their land. And those gas prices just keep going up. Increase in demand is causing those prices to rise. Devin Doan has some tips on how you can save at the pump.
If you're a college student on a tight budget, rising gas prices probably have you wondering, should I just walk everywhere? There's not much control we have over what stations charge at the pump, but understand that there's organizations like AAA with experts like Doug Shoup who have a ton of advice on how to save you money getting from point A to point B. One of those pieces of advice, shop around for your gas. AAA's mobile app has a helpful feature on there called Gas Finder that helps you find the cheapest station near you.
Pop up that app on your phone and it's going to tell you the gas station that's selling for the least amount closest to wherever you are. And then it's going to also have a little button on there that says get directions, and it'll lead you right to that station that's selling for the least amount.
Shoup says keeping your car tuned up can save you money. A simple fix? Make sure your tires are properly inflated. And weekend warriors, don't forget about all that junk hiding out in the back of your trunk. The more weight you're lugging around every day, the more money you're spending on gas. And that's a pretty easy fix right there. But the best piece of advice Doug gave us to ensure our gas mileage goes as far as it can.
Really keeping your vehicle in tip-top shape is always a good idea, but especially if you want to save money on gasoline. If you're driving around in a vehicle that is not well maintained, you're paying more at the pump to get that vehicle moving.
And with a smidge of know-how and a lot of effort, you too can figure out how to get where you need to go without worrying about how much it costs to get there. With CTTV, this is Devin Doan.
And of course, we hope that you're staying safe while having fun on the road out there, while you're saving that cash at the pump. And that's all we have for tonight. You can tune into Newscene for a new show every Friday and find it all on sdcitytimes.com. And remember to follow SD City Newscene on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you and good night.